Morning, YouTube. How you guys doing? Pretty well here. Anyway, knocking out quite a few videos this morning. I ain't done any in a while. This one here, I think it's going to be fairly short. I just want to ask a favor of people who watch my videos and subscribe. And the people that may just kind of see it because somebody who subscribed shared it. In the trucking industry, you have rookies like me, who have been in the trucking for less than a year, 2 years, whatever, and we're learning everything that we need to know to be efficient and good truckers. And then you've got your seasoned veterans who've been driving for years. Some of them 30, 40 years they've been out here in a truck, and they've seen everything there is to see about trucking. They don't have a lot left to learn. They've been here back when they still had horses pulling these things. Some of them anyway. They'll tell you about when they didn't have air conditioning in their trucks, and there wasn't no such thing as a GPS, and you actually had to know where you were going, and how they had to push start their trucks, going uphill every day. I'm exaggerating now, but I got a lot of respect for those guys, honestly. A lot of respect. They paved the way for those of us that are coming into the industry now to get where we're at. But you've got a lot of derision in the trucking industry towards new drivers, specifically drivers of certain companies. Okay, you get where you hear so much bad about a company, like, I don't have anything bad to say about any of these guys, but we'll throw them out there because, these are the ones that a lot of people talk about. They'll talk really bad about people, CR England as a company, or Swift especially. And, I hate that. If you've got something bad to say about the company from personal knowledge, by all means, put it out there. It may save other people from, making the decision to drive for them. If they quit getting drivers, they're either going to correct their problems or they're going to go out of business, one or the other. But man, these drivers, these kids that are getting in there in these cars, or in these trucks, or even people like me, that are in their middle age, and they're getting into these trucks. These guys are just starting out, and maybe their training isn't as good as it should have been. Maybe they don't know as much as they ought to know. Maybe they make, a few mistakes here and there. But this is where I'm asking a favor of y'all. Don't jump on the bandwagon. God willing, I'm not going to make any of those mistakes, okay? God willing, I'm not going to have any accidents. I'm not going to get stuck in a ditch. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm just saying that hopefully it's not going to happen. All right. But when you see a picture of a Swift truck, that's done something stupid, don't start jumping on the bandwagon talking trash about Swift drivers. Because these guys are learning just like I am. Even you seasoned drivers out there, you started somewhere. Maybe it was pushing a truck, because it didn't have an engine yet. They hadn't invented it, or maybe it was in one of them horse-drawn carriages, and you've been driving trucks since Wells Fargo was pulling wagons behind a horse. I don't know. But at some point, somewhere, you had to start. And when you started, you didn't know shit. just like us, just like these new guys out here. You didn't know nothing. You learned on the job. You picked it up. You made mistakes. You learned from those mistakes. And you're right. Back then we didn't have computers, so they couldn't put pictures of you up there on the internet with all the stupid mistakes that you made. They couldn't sit there and get hundreds of people or thousands of people to share your picture of your worst mistake, and put it all over the internet for everybody to see, so you become a laughingstock. They didn't have that option back then when you were first starting out. Way back when, in the 1920s and shit. And I'm not even trying to make fun of you old guys. I'm just saying that y'all have gotten where you're at through hard-earned experience. Thousands and thousands or millions of miles on the road. And you've made mistakes. Some of them worse than some of these guys are making. But you sit back and you talk so bad about these drivers that are in their first year or their second year, like they're just the worst scum on earth, that have absolutely no business being on the road at all. And at some point, somewhere along the line, you were in the same seat, doing the same thing, maybe even doing some of the worst things. Maybe you didn't make but one or two mistakes, before you could be called a seasoned veteran. Maybe you made a bunch of them. Maybe nobody knows about those mistakes that were made, but you still made them. Everybody does something wrong, right? So when you see that stuff and people start talking trash about, company drivers, a specific company driver, don't jump on that bandwagon. Just do me a favor, and let's try to be a little bit more positive. Yeah, there's some dumb things that go on out there, right? And there are some things that shouldn't have happened, and yeah, there's some things that drivers should think their way through, before it happens. But before we jump on the bandwagon trying to run somebody into the ground, let's instead take that as a learning experience, and instead of ragging on a person's mistake, let's discuss what we could have done differently so that it doesn't become a mistake for us, as newer drivers. And then when you become a veteran driver, somewhere down the road, at whatever point it is, whatever mystical point it is that changes you from a rookie to a veteran, whenever you reach whatever that point is, don't forget that you were sitting in the rookie seat at some time, and that you made mistakes also. Hey, I've made some mistakes. I've made some pretty serious mistakes. So far, it has not resulted in any kind of equipment damage or equipment loss. I haven't had to call a tow truck out to pull me out of anything yet. I've been able to correct every mistake that I've made without causing damage. But yes, I've made mistakes. At some point, maybe I'll do a video where I discuss some of those. Meanwhile, let's try to be positive, and let's work towards helping people. That's the whole purpose I do these videos for, is to raise awareness of my life out here on the road, the things that I go through, because it's pretty it's pretty much what all of us go through out here. And so that I have an opportunity to reach out and help people that are trying to get into this industry in whatever way that I can help them. Alright? That's it for the video. Much love to y'all. You know the routine. Comment, share, like, subscribe. And y'all take care, man. Peace out.